Scotland is home to some of the finest stonemasonry from the medieval era. In this documentary, we will be exploring Dunnottar Castle. Fyvie Castle, Slains Castle, and Gicht Castle. Dunnottar Castle is located just past Stonehaven in the northeast of Scotland. Dunnottar was founded in the 15th century after a razing of the Church of Dunnottar Rock by William Wallace in 1297. It abides on top of some steady but eroding rocks with a height of 160 feet from the crashing waves below. The headland of Dunnottar spreads across 3.5 acres of land, with a small path that leads to the main land. There are 12 structures altogether on the headland. The Tower House, viewed at the southwest of the castle, followed by the forge where the blacksmith worked. Behind the forge is the Water Tins Lodging, which would house the local priest, which is believed to have been built for William Keith, who is the fourth Marshal's son in 1574. Further around the castles are the stables. In the centre of the headland is a great room, where once upon a time William Wallace, the Marquis of Montrose, King Charles II and Mary Queen of Scots graced the palace with their presence. One of Dunnottar's most historical events has to be during the Jacobite uprising. The Scottish jewels, which were property of Mary Queen of Scots at the time, were hidden deep inside of Dunnottar Castle to protect the jewels from Oliver Cromwell and an advancing English army. The garrison of Dunnottar Castle was able to hold off the English for 8 months until English reinforcements arrived and the castle was overrun. Fortunately, before losing the castle, the Scottish jewels were able to be smuggled out. Dunnottar's only dungeon, nicknamed the Thieves' Hole, is likely where a lot of the Scottish prisoners were kept after the siege of Dunnottar. In the present day, Dunnottar Castle resides under the shared property of Aberdeen City Council and Jim Wong, who is a castle custodian. Fyvie Castle is located 2 miles south of Turriff. The castle was built around the 13th century by William the Lion, who was the King of Scots from 1165 to 1214. Fyvie Castle served as a royal stronghold for Scotland until 1390. The castle is still in mint condition. It has a refurbished interior and exterior, but the castle still remains its original structure, and it still contains many of its original antiques.
What interested you in volunteering at the Fyvie Castle?
I volunteered here to try and get some experience in gardening in general. I've mostly worked in Tesco's supermarkets and, well, I've forgotten the word for it, administration. It's so boring I forgot the word before this, and I'm just really keen to sort of try and change my career if I can. So I thought I wasn't getting anywhere just applying with my previous experience, so I thought I'd come along and try and gain some experience through Fyvie Castle. I'm just here to rake up leaves, man. That's it. Leaves and pigments.
There we go.
Your teacher's going to be like, what the hell is going on here? Who's this guy?
Fyvie Castle has fell into the possession of 5 families throughout its existence: the Preston, Meldrum, Seton, Gordon and Leith families, all of which added a tower to the castle. The oldest to date is the Preston Tower, which is located on the south of the building. In 1982, the castle went up on the market and was purchased by the National Trust of Scotland. An anecdote that stands out in the Fyvie Castle is an old tale about the Grey Lady, also known as Lady Meldrum. Lady Meldrum predominantly stayed in the Meldrum House, located on the northwest of the castle, close to the small drop down to the nearby river. When Lady Meldrum fell ill in the 13th century, she requested to be buried in the walls of the secret room in Meldrum Tower. It wasn't until 1920 that her remains were found and buried in the castle cemetery. From that day forward, the castle has experienced several unexplainable strange occurrences. Slains Castle was built in the 16th century. It overlooks the North Sea from its cliff-top residence, 1 kilometre east of Cruden Bay. William Hay was a clan chief who was made Earl of Errol by King James II, and the title was passed down through him to the rest of his clan. William Hay was a signatory of the Spanish Blanks, and after King James VI deemed him a traitor, King James gave orders to destroy Slains Castle in 1654. In 1897, Irish writer Bram Stoker released Dracula. Bram lived in the area for some time writing the novel. It is believed that he was heavily influenced and inspired by Slains Castle when writing the book. As well as featuring in Dracula, the castle was also the set for a 2013 Frankenstein remake starring James McAvoy and Daniel Radcliffe. Later on, the 20th Earl of Earl sold Slains Castle, ending more than 300 years of family occupation in 1913. Although the castle is in disrepair, there is still an underground pantry that was converted into a cell, as well as towers which a few are still climbable. The cell facing the northeast featured a 90-foot drop, meaning that no prisoners would be able to escape. Climbing the tallest remaining tower in Slains, you are able to look down and see 4 beams, which are the remaining elements of the flooring in Slains Castle. Located in Ellen, Gicht Castle was built in the 16th century. Was the home of Lord Byron. It is said that the ruins of the castle are haunted by a piper who disappeared while exploring an underground passageway, rather than going through the dark forest, which has now become a protected forest. The last owner of the castle was George Gordon, who passed away in 1791. After that, the castle remained uninhabited, and it was named an ancient monument in 1965.